What's up, guys? Welcome back to the poker vlog, episode number 14. We are heading into the Bellagio, looking for a good 5-10 game today. I'm gonna get ready for Texas here in a few weeks, so let's get in there and play some cards. Okay, we grabbed the max $1,500 buy-in, running good right off the start when I pick up 2 new subscribers before I'm even getting cards. About 10 minutes in, I pick up pocket 10s in the small blind. Player in the cutoff limps, and the button makes it 40. He's my newest subscriber. I could just flat here, but I want to take the aggressive route. I make it 110 to play. The cutoff quickly calls, and it's back to the button. He starts reaching for raising chips and decides on a 4-bet to 470. Now it's back on me. It's a little too much to just call here with a $1,500 starting stack, so it's either jam or fold. With no information on anyone at the table yet, I elect to lay this one down out of position. He would later tell me he had ace-king. Nice play. Next, I pick up 8-6 of clubs from middle position. Under the gun opens for 30. Myself and the cutoff calls. We had 3 ways to a flop of jack, 4, 5 with 2 spades. First player bets 40. With a gut shot to the nuts and backdoor flush draw, I'm peeling one off here. I make the call. The cutoff folds. Heads up to a 9 of spades on the turn. He looks at his cards and checks. Must not have any spades. I sense some weakness here, so I fire out a bet of 160, and he quickly folds. 20 minutes later, I pick up jack 9 of hearts from the cutoff. Under the gun raises to 30. I make the call, and the big blind calls. 3 ways to a flop of king, 4, queen with 2 hearts. We flop a gutter ball with a flush draw, and we are in position. Big blind checks, and the original raiser puts out a small bet of 40. We are definitely getting some more money in there. I make it 140. I'd be doing this with hands like king, queen, pocket 4s, and combo draws. The big blind cold calls the 140, which I wasn't expecting. The original better gets out of the way, and we're heads up to a king of spades on the turn. My opponent checks in the dark. I'm not exactly sure where I'm at right now. I don't want to bet and get raised, so I take the free straight and flush draw now on this paired board. The river is a blank deuce of diamonds, and he checks to me again. I feel like he doesn't have a king now, and jack high doesn't win very often. With king queen, I would have taken the same line here, so I fire out a bet of 330 because maybe he had an ace high flush draw. He tanks for a bit and doesn't like it, but ends up making the call. He shows ace queen of hearts for the winner. Had me crushed, drawing to a non-heart 10. I lost about 500 there, but could have been much worse.
Would you say you're in McAllen?
I get moved to one of the main games shortly after, full of tough players. 90 minutes of cold cards pass by before picking up ace-jack of clubs from the cutoff. I raise to 30. It's on the button, and he puts in the 3-bet to 100. I call, and we are heads up to the flop of queen-jack 5 with 2 diamonds. I check to him, and he continues with a bet of 80. I'm not going anywhere just yet against a button 3-bet. I make the call. Turn brings a 7 of diamonds. Not a great card since I don't have any diamonds. I check to him, and he checks it back. River brings no help, 10 of clubs. I'm looking to get to showdown cheap here, and I think he knows it. I check. He's not allowing that. He puts out a large bet, $500. I'm seeing these overbets more and more from good players, and it seems like they're doing it with the nuts and bluffs. So more often, though, it seems like it's been the nuts. They want to confuse you and get max value with a big hand. It's not really worth it here. My hand's just not strong enough, so I make the laydown. We'll pick another spot. About another hour goes by before picking up ace 6 of hearts from the big blind. The hijack raises to 30, and I defend. Make the call, heads up to a flop of ace 9 deuce with 2 spades. I check, and he bets tiny, $20. I make the call, and the turn is a 3 of clubs. I check, and he sizes up this time to 100. No sense in raising this time since he's either bluffing or taking me to Value Town. I make the call, and the river brings a king of clubs. No help. I check, and he fires a 3rd barrel of 220. Looks like it's for value. I've come this far. Let's see what he has. I make the call, and he shows queen 10. So it looks like he was betting in case I missed a flush draw there on the river. So we finally pick up a nice pot with a marginal 1-pair hand. Next, I pick up pocket jacks in the cutoff. Player in middle position raises to 30. I don't always 3-bet with jacks, and this time I decide to flat in position. The button, small blind, and big blind all join in the fun. 5-way action to a flop of 10, 6, 7 with 2 spades. It's checked to the original raiser who bets 100. Pretty good chance that I currently have the best hand, but I don't want to inflate the pot right here, so I just call, and the big blind calls. 3 ways to a turn. It brings a 7 of spades. Both players check this time, and it's on me. I make a small bet of 130 to charge some draws and some pocket pairs, maybe some top pair of 10s, and they both call. So now I'm kind of certain that I'm behind. The river brings an ace of spades, giving me a little hope. I have the third nut flush now. Both players check again, and I'm not going to go for it though. I check it back. Original raiser shows king 5 of spades for the winner. This is why you 3-bet with jacks. About another hour and 45 minutes go by before picking up king jack on the button, just to give you an indication on how long you're sitting there sometimes before picking up some hands. It's folded to me, and I raise to 30. The small blind is a tough English pro who puts in the squeeze to 150. I've watched him do this about 5 times in the last few hours, and nobody has looked him up. He's the same player who made the $500 overbet earlier when I had the ace-jack. Most of the time, I'm folding, but my image looks kind of tight at the moment, so let's use that. I put in the 4-bet to 480, and about 5 seconds goes by, and he makes the laydown. Sometimes you got to make some moves. 30 more minutes go by, and we lose a few solid players that were on my right. The $20 straddle is on this hand when I pick up 6-9 suited from the cutoff. Let's mix it up here. I open for 70. The button calls, and the straddler makes the call. 3 ways to a flop of 8-5 deuce with 2 hearts. Pretty good flop to continue here with a gutter to the nuts and backdoor flush draw. It's checked over to me. I fire out a bet of 180. A bet I'd likely make with an overpair or an ace-high flush draw here. Both opponents make the call. We are looking for some help. We don't get it. The turn is a king of clubs. It's a much better card for me than my opponents, so I'm really not that worried about it. It's checked over to me. Pot is 765. I have about 1150 left. Hit that like and subscribe if you think this is a good spot to rip it in, because
All in.
nice, that one gets through. I think that's my first big all-in bluff of the vlog, just to highlight how rare these spots come about. I try to choose them very carefully, and luckily this one got through. I'm in a battle here to book this 14th win, and we are closing the gap, only stuck about 400 now. And for 14 consecutive sessions, pocket aces, will they stay undefeated? I raised to 30 from the hijack, cutoff calls, and the big blind calls. We had 3 ways to a flop of 9-7-5 rainbow. First player checks. For some reason I have a bad feeling with this flop. I decide to check it for pot control / deception. The last player bets 60. The big blind calls, and it's back to me. I just flat here, and we go 3 ways to a queen of diamonds on the turn. First player checks, I check, and the flop better checks now. River is a 10 of diamonds. Now the big blind wants to lead out for 120. I don't think I'm any good here, but I've completely under-repped my hand, and I can't fold for 120. I make the call. Last player folds, and ladies and gentlemen, aces finally cracked. She shows 7-9 of diamonds, flop top 2 pair, ran out of flush. At least I lost the minimum. Glad I went with my instinct and played it really slow. 10 minutes later, we pick up another premium, ace-king suited from the cutoff. My image has changed from tight to pretty active now. I'm battling for this winner. I raise to 30. The button calls, and it's to the youngster in the small blind. He's a new player, has me covered. He grabs some raising chips and makes it 160 to see a flop. So it's back on me. I'm never just calling here given the 3-betting range I've witnessed in this game. Let's put the pressure back on. I put in the 4-bet to 510. The button folds, and it's back to the small blind, who eyes my stack for a little bit and says all in. I'm obviously calling here, looking for the double up to get back in winning territory. I ask, run it once or twice, and he says twice.
Good. 1 or 2?
I don't know what that is.
2?
Check the kings. Central? Oh. Central or what? Also, it's north of here. We're west.
Ace on that one.
I have an ace.
Probably same hand. Ace king?
I have ace king suited.
9. Farouk and Jake at 1-3.
So we hit the ace on the river on that first board and get the good news that he has ace queen. The second board he flops a flush draw and it runs out dry for him and we scoop a big one. I had 1,445 to start the hand. We are back in the plus, but it's not going to last for long. The very next hand, I'm in the hijack with 4-6 of hearts. Under the gun opens for 30. Same player who cracked my aces earlier. We both have some chips, so I'm looking to get involved here. I put in the 3-bet to 100. It's folded over to her and she makes the call. Heads up to a flop of Jack 10-8 with 1 heart. Not much going on for us here, but a backdoor flush draw. But we do have bluffing chips. She checks over to me and I bet 140. She takes a little time before making the call here, but doesn't seem very confident. Maybe it's a hand like King Queen, Pocket Nines, something like Ace 10. So we go to a turn card and it gives us a little help, 4 of diamonds. She checks it over to me again. A pair of 4s is not likely the best hand here, so going with my read that she might have Pocket Nines or King Queen, she'll likely fold to a bet on the turn here. I fire out 330 this time. She makes the call much faster now, so I think we need some help. River doesn't bring it. Total blank, 3 of hearts. She checks to me again. If she called the turn, I don't think I can get her off with this blank river card. At this point, I can only beat King Queen, so I give up here, and she shows King Jack for the winner. And just like that, stuck about 400 again. Alright, the table agrees to a round of straddles, and next we pick up Ace 5 of spades under the gun. We're 6-handed. I open for 60. It's folded to the straddler who makes the call. We go heads up to a flop of Ace 5-6 rainbow. He checks. I continue with a bet of 70. Thinking I'm going to take it down right here, but I get a surprise check raise to 220 from him. Really unexpected. This is an older gentleman who just sat down about 10 minutes ago and he has me covered. I just flat here to set the trap. I'm not sure exactly where he's at. He could have any ace or possibly an open-ended straight draw with 7-8 or 4-7 suited, trying to take it down on the flop. The turn is a 4 of clubs. Now he fires out 340. My hand is too strong here to fold, but not really good enough to raise, so I make the call and let's see what he does on the river. Last card is a queen of hearts, no help, and now he checks to me. So it looks like he's giving up. Or maybe just has like a 1-pair hand. I can't imagine him checking a better hand than me here, so checking back seems too nitty. I put out a bet looking for value from his Ace-X holdings. I bet 510 just hoping for a call. He tanks for almost a full minute before reluctantly calling.
Well, I'm going to have to believe you didn't call me down with ace queen. I have aces up.
Me too. Maybe same man?
Maybe.
Oh wow, nice hand.
Wow, here I am hoping for a call and he's got me crushed with top 2 pair on the flop, Ace 6 from the straddle, so I lose 1100 on that hand, and I'll be honest, that one had me a little deflated, kind of a cooler. Back in the hole, 1300 again, and it's getting late, but we gotta stay resilient. That player racked up and immediately left after that pot. 20 minutes goes by. I pick up jacks again from under the gun plus 2. I raise to 30, and it's back to the same player who doubled me up earlier with the ace queen. He puts in the 3-bet to 100 from the hijack, and it's back to me. I don't like calling out of position here with jacks, so it's 4-bet time. I make it 400. Action back to him. He thinks for a little bit, and he puts it all in again. I make the call. We're going to go twice, 2 boards again. He tells me a pair is ahead, which is good news, so let's run it out.
Anyone else?
Get that first one, queen? Second one, alright. Probably a chop. Oh wow. No way.
Wow, so that first board runs out queen high. He said he had ace king. Second board flops a king. We spike the jack on the river to scoop him again. Ridiculous, thinking we're going to chop right there, but we bang the 2-outer, scoop another massive pot, and I had 1325 to start that hand, so we're back up about 50 bucks. About 30 minutes later, I pick up 4-7 suited from the hijack. The game is great. There is a straddle and double straddle on for this hand, so it's 5, 10, 20, 40. Let's jump in the action here. I make it 120 to play, and it's back to the $40 straddler who makes the call. We go heads up to a flop of 8, 6, 4 with 2 clubs and a spade. He checks it to me. I decide to check back here and take a free card. I do this with overpair sometimes as well, just like the aces earlier. So we go to a turn card of another 8. After he checks again here, I'm pretty sure we have the best hand. I put out a small bet of 110, and it's back to him. He throws out 3 black chips, making it 300 to play. This player made a similar raise like this earlier on the flop and showed the bluff. Is he doing it again here, or does he have it this time? I make the call, looking for some help, looking for a 5. We don't get it though. It's a 3 of spades. Now he leads out for 500. So I have a bluff catcher, and it feels like it's the nuts or nothing here, but I feel like it's a bluff. I make a super light call, and I'm wrong. He shows king 8 of spades for trip 8s. Checked it twice, set the trap. Once again, I'm back in the hole, but feeling great, and the game is good. Next, it's my turn to straddle, and here we go. Pocket aces and the $20 straddle, just when I need it, given how active I've been. The cutoff raises to 50. Small blind calls, and it's back to me. I put in my standard raise of 4x plus one more bet since I'm out of position. I make it 250. Hopefully it looks like I'm stealing. Unfortunately, both players make the laydown, but hey, I'll take it. 2 hands later, I'm in the small blind with queen 7 of hearts. The straddle is still on. Under the gun limps, which brings in a few more limpers. So I call, big blind calls, and the straddler checks. 6-way action to a flop of queen 9, 7 with 2 diamonds. So we flop top and bottom pair, but it's a super wet board and 5 other opponents in. I lead out for 70. The under the gun player calls, and the next player calls. So we got it narrowed down to 3 of us. Turn brings a pretty good safe card, 5 of spades. 6-8 gets there with a straight, but not really worried about the under the gun player having that hand. Probably wouldn't have limped in on a straddle pot. So I bet 280. The under the gun player calls, and he's got about 800 left. The last player folds. Heads up now to an ace of hearts on the river. It's a great card if he just had an ace high flush draw. Bad if he limped in with ace queen. Since I don't think he limps with ace queen under the gun, I decided to fire one more barrel for a value against king queen and ace high flush draws. I bet out 400, which is about half of his stack. He tanks for a full minute before making a good laydown. He said he had king queen, so we pick up a nice profit there of about $520 in a straddled pot. Just 3 hands later, we pick up ace king from the cutoff. Early position player raises to 30. I put in the 3-bet to 110. It's over to the small blind, who I've been all in twice against already. He's had enough of me and puts in the 4-bet to 330. It's folded back to me. Does he have it this time? Let's find out.
He raised it 330 10 months out of the year. But they took it away after the pandemic. Raise. Yeah, so, you know.
Thought we were doing it again.
I put in the 5-bet right there to 900, and he quickly folded. I've had it every time against this guy, and nice to pick up $380 or so without a flop. We are climbing back, guys. 30 minutes later, we pick up a monster on the button. Deuce 4 of hearts. One player limps, and middle position raises to 50. I make the call. I'm looking to get involved with this particular player. The limper calls as well, and we had 3 ways to a flop of 3-3-5 rainbow with 1 heart. First player checks. Original raiser bets 90, and it's over to me. I debate raising right here, but decide if we hit an ace, it will likely improve him and give me the nut straight. So I flat, planning to bluff if we don't improve. The turn is no help, 9 of clubs. He slows down now and checks. So we have the green light here. Likely he just has some overcards, so I make a small bet, what looks like for value. I make it 120, and he lays it down. We're only down $70 now. And for the final hand, we pick up pocket tens from the big blind. The $20 straddle is on. One player limps from late position, and we raise to 80. Straddler calls, and the late position limper calls. We had 3 ways to a flop of ace jack 5. Not great, but I'm against the straddler and a late position player, so I'm going to rep an ace here. I continue with a bet of 130. Both players make the laydown, and with this pot, we are 9 hours in, tired, up $87. Let's book number 14 winner after this swingy session. All right, guys, that's it. Hope you enjoyed session number 14 at the Bellagio. What a swingy session, up and down, up and down. I think I was down 1,300 about 3 different times, climbed back to even. Finally won that last one with the pocket tens to get in the plus. Only $87, but happy. I wanted to get that 14th winner for me and you guys. Got to keep the streak going, keep the beard going. Here are the stats right here, as always, after every session. Cruising right along. We got that one loss in the 1-2 game, but we had a winning night on that one. So 14 winning nights in a row. Let's keep it going. How long will it last? Hopefully you guys stick with me when it goes south. But I had a fun time that session. Learned a lot, seeing what the players are doing in the 5-10 game there. Kind of a different style of play. It's kind of shorter stacked 5-10, but good to put yourself in tough situations, tough games sometimes. I could probably game select better, but sometimes you need to challenge yourself and, see what these guys are doing. That's how you improve. So learned a lot from this session, 9 hours in. That's probably my longest session of the vlog so far. And hey, came out in the plus. All right, stay to the end for a trick shot. Hope you like and subscribe if you haven't yet, and come along this poker journey with me. And we'll see you next Sunday. Have a good one, everybody.
Oh my god. Yes.